Defiance is a first-person shooter set out in a post-apocalyptic Earth. Players can explore the newly terraformed San Francisco Bay and find everything it has to offer. Players will start with very little knowledge of what has happened prior to them being there. The game starts by giving you a very brief cutscene, giving information to a character named Carl von Bock, claiming his research could save the world. Shortly after, the ship is brought down by unknown causes, and you have to ODST yourself the hell out of there.
Integrity compromised. Evacuation pod launch in 3, 2.
Shortly after crashing, you are awakened by a character known as Cass, and also introduced to one of the key features of the game, Ego. Imagine Halo's Katana but with kinda less personality. She will help you in every way you would expect a robot AI to help you. She'll tell you your mission, she'll tell you how to get to that mission, and give you really important information you couldn't live without. Next, we're given a gun and told how to shoot. Shooting in this game is very similar to your standard Gears of War or other third-person shooter, so players with experience with those types of games will pick up this game very quickly. Unlike your standard MMO, every bullet requires skill to hit your target, no auto aim. Guns come in a variety of different types and modifications, so if your playstyle is a shotgun that fires infection spawning cysts, then Defiance has got you covered. If sniping with a gun that sets people on fire is more your deal, then don't worry, it has that too. Defiance really allows players to find their style. Alongside your weapon, you're also packing a grenade, which has a variety of different effects from slowing targets to setting them on fire. Also at your disposal are skills and perks. Skills work like your sword superpower. There are 4 to choose from: Cloak, Decoy, Blur, and Overcharge. Breaking off from the skills, you also have perks, small buffs, which may increase recharge time, damage, a variety of different stats. Though the skill system looks good on paper, some skills clearly outshine others. From what I've seen so far, it looks like Blur and Decoy may be skills people tend to avoid due to their lack of effectiveness in both PvE and PvP environments. It also looks like the most useful skill may be Overcharge, and the one I feel most people will lean towards when creating characters. Next, let's talk about one of the main features of the game, the Arcfall events. Arcfalls can happen at any time of day, at any point on the map. Features such as friend teleportation make getting to these events much easier. Once at an Arcfall event, players must work together to destroy a giant crystal. Not only does this crystal have a huge amount of health, monsters or mutants will spawn around the area to stop you from destroying it, each with their own massive amount of health. Once players have destroyed small Arcfalls, a giant Arcfall event will be triggered. Now all players from the surrounding area must come together to fight a giant boss. Once players coordinate fire against multiple types of health spawns, they will eventually get to summon this boss. Once the boss is destroyed, players will be given a scoreboard telling them how they did in the fight, listing kills and damage output. Arcfalls, in my opinion, are the selling point of this game. They really bring people together to fight a common evil. Though there is a scoreboard which makes it seem kind of competitive, you can really sense that people are working together to overcome this. This really makes me feel there's a proper coordination in this team and it isn't just about racking up the leaderboards. For you people out looking to put a bullet in a buddy's brain rather than take part in Arcfall events, then don't worry, Defiance also has PvP. Though I've only seen 2 maps, I found both maps fun, enjoyable, and to a really good standard, but PvP lets the game down by far. Because your loadout in PvP is made up of weapons you found in PvE, you'll find that rather than skill, it's more about who's got the better gun. I feel if PvP had set classes with set weapons and abilities, it could be 1,000 times better and allow players to be on equal footing. At the minute, PvP is unbalanced, and you'll find that you'll die to people with better guns. Some classes are definitely better suited to PvP than others, and you'll find most people in PvP will be using cloaks or overcharge. Don't see any decoy or blur. So at the minute, the game is really unbalanced in the PvP section. But like I said, if they put in some set classes, this would easily fix the problem. Okay, let's talk more about connection and servers. The servers seem to handle really well with the arc events. You'll experience almost no FPS drop, if any at all, and the servers can control lag quite well. I can almost say that I almost never lag on this game, though sometimes I do experience desync when I see other players driving. This can happen with my friends as well. There are also a few issues with the controls. Controls will sometimes reset themselves for PC users after the game is closed, so you'll spend your time rebinding your keys, close the game, and they'll be reset to default when you launch up again. I'm not sure if this is an easy fix, I don't make games. Another issue is if you hold control and Q at the same time, it will cause the game to close. Now, control in the PC version of the game is crouch, and Q is weapon swap. So if you crouch and swap weapons at the same time, it's going to crash you out of the game. So I think this is something that needs to be addressed as well. There are a few overpowered weapons as well, but you're only really going to notice that in PvP. But if you're not looking towards PvP, then that's not really an issue for you. But like I say, if they just put in some set classes, that would be fine. Another issue I have with the game is newer players, especially console users, are not going to be familiar with the MMO style of games, and the skill system seems a little bit complicated to newer players. I found I had to experiment with it a few times before finding a combination that I liked and thought worked successfully. But if they can iron out some of these creases, then it would definitely bring up my final score. There's definitely one more issue I have to address before I can show you the final verdict. When playing the tutorial, it seems very short and it doesn't cover some of the aspects of the game. Modding is a very big part of this game, and we found we had to just search around, looked on the internet, and we couldn't find how to mod. Eventually, after trial and error, we finally found out how to do it. But this is something I feel should have been explained, and maybe a longer tutorial or maybe a little bit of guidance could have helped with this, because there was no real way for us to find this out. But maybe it was just inexperience. I'm sure as the game gets bigger, more people will help to solve these sorts of issues of inexperience with crafting and other features in the game. But something in the tutorial showing us how to do that would have been a nice touch. So there we are, guys, that's Defiance. If you have any sort of feeling towards getting this game and you think you can just ignore those tiny little bugs, then this is the game for you. It's definitely the game for me. I think it's good. If it could just iron out those creases, it would be easily a higher score. But the score I'm going to give it is a 3.5 out of 5. It's a really enjoyable game, really fun to play with your friends, just awesome game. But if you can, but it's just the little things that just bring this score down. It could easily have been a 4 or a 4.5 had it just ironed out those creases in its beta. But 3.5 is what I'm going to give it for now. Awesome game. If you're feeling kind of, oh, I still don't know, I hope this video helped you. Maybe comment in the section if you've got a similar opinion or you've noticed something yourself that I maybe didn't pick up. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to bring in you more content soon. Bye.